Hello and welcome to the Dreams Lady podcast. My name is Maria and I am your host. Today is a raw one. One of our listeners, we'll call her Melissa, sent me a whole series of dreams that honestly feel like a roller coaster of emotions. We're talking about parasites, betrayal, fighting the boss's wife, and even a real life story from Target that got pulled straight into her dream life. I want you to hear this. When we dream like this, it's not always Father speaking prophetically about our future. Sometimes it's our soul that's crying because the wounds we haven't dealt with yet are calling out. And the thing about dreams is they don't lie. They'll pull out the stuff we try to bury when we're awake. I want to take Melissa's dreams and gently show the thread that's running through them, and then speak the redemptive side. What is Father actually inviting her into, and what is he really saying through these wild, heavy images? The following were her dreams. A few days ago, I dreamt that I pulled a long worm or parasite out of my bottom lip. The next night, I dreamt that I ate something that had worms and maggots in it. Yesterday, I dreamt that my husband went away with his boss for the weekend. When I picked him up, I saw his boss's wife there and I sensed something was off. As I walked back to the car, our kids were waiting inside. I suddenly grabbed her from behind in a chokehold and asked, "Are you sleeping with my husband?" She just laughed at me, so I squeezed harder and demanded more angrily, "Are you sleeping with my husband, you gargantuan B-word?" My husband was right there, telling me to let go and to stop tripping because nothing was happening, but I didn't believe him. After choking and hitting her for a while, she finally said, Okay. I said, okay, you are sleeping with my husband? Then I looked at him and he said, okay, we'll tell you. He admitted they met at work, hit it off, and one thing led to another, and now he was there with her. I grabbed a knife, cut her up, and walked out. I told my husband to come say goodbye to the kids and that he could get his stuff in a couple of days from the curb. Then I woke up and made him breakfast. Last night, I dreamt that he had 2 other kids. Supposedly, he had them cloned, but I knew better. I was so mad and hurt because they were younger than our son, which meant he had stepped out on our marriage. He confessed that the condom that came out at Target, a real-life event, was actually for someone he had been seeing on the side. He swore he didn't want to break up or get divorced, and that somehow we needed to work it out. He said it hadn't happened since then and would never happen again. His cousin came over while things were heated between us and said she knew about it. I told her to get the hell out of my house and that she wasn't ever welcome back. Then my husband started acting mean, trying to play tough and brush me off, which made me feel like he was still messing around. I went to confront him, but then I woke up and made him breakfast again. A little backstory. In 2020, around 4th of July, we had gone to Target. When we walked in, I grabbed a cart and he went to get Clorox wipes from his crossbody bag. When he pulled out the wipes, a condom fell out of his bag. I didn't fully see it, but I saw the shape and color. He quickly put his foot over it and played it off as if he had found money. He dragged it toward the trash, lifted his foot and said, "Oh no, it's trash," and tossed it away. We walked off, but my insides were on fire. I questioned him about what it was, and he denied that it was what I thought it was, a condom. I told him if he wasn't honest, I'd go to the trash can myself, and if I found that it was what I thought it wouldn't be pretty inside Target. I don't remember if he confessed there or when we got home, but after I searched online and found a picture of an orange condom wrapper that looked like what I saw, we argued in our bedroom. He told me how he ended up with the condom, why he had it, and swore he had never cheated on me or had anyone to use it on. He said he didn't even know why he did what he did, but thought at the time it was a cool thing to do. He swore he didn't want to break up or get divorced and that we needed to work through it. He asked me to forgive him, but I was furious that he even asked. After my meltdown, I heard God's voice tugging on my heart to forgive him. All right, so I won't read the rest of the backstory because I don't think it's relevant. I think we've read enough, but I think it is good to know that what is going on here is definitely a soul level dream. What is across these dreams is a clear thread, and that's infestation, betrayal, violence, confession, and then the routine of moving forward. I think it suffices to say that she experienced a sort of traumatic moment of betrayal in waking life that is spilling over into her dream life. I think this is very much what we call a soul dream. And so I want to thank you, Melissa, for trusting me with these dreams. They came from a very deep place and a tender place in your heart. And first, I want to honor your courage. Dreams like these don't come to torment you just for no reason. Your soul is actually crying out here. And I think your soul is saying, there's still pain in here that hasn't been healed yet. I am still experiencing a pain that you have not addressed. And so when we do that kind of stuff, it resurfaces when our subconscious is at the forefront of our mind, which is when we're sleeping, right? That prefrontal cortex and the logic part of our brain is heavily suppressed. And it allows those things that we've suppressed all day long consciously to surface into our now conscious that normally would be subconscious. I hope I didn't confuse you with all that. But when we sleep, all those things come to the surface, and it is our soul that is coming through pretty strong because, these are emotions and things that we need to deal with. So what is happening across the dreams that you shared with me is a clear thread. So there's infestation, which we see with the worms, right? With the parasites. I guess you could call them that, right? There's betrayal, there's violence, there's confession, and then there's this routine that you seem to be following where you move forward. Every time that you wake up from these dreams, you make breakfast. What that cycle is showing me is something powerful. It's showing me that your choice to forgive was real. No doubt about it. You meant that, but your inner world hasn't caught up yet. So forgiveness is a doorway, but healing is a journey through the house. The worms and the parasites, well, that's your soul trying to purge what feels toxic. The food with maggots, that's intimacy that feels unsafe, even when it should be nourishing you. The confrontations with your husband and others in those dreams, that's all the anger that you've been swallowing down in waking life spilling out into your dreams. Your soul is saying, I still feel unsafe, unheard, and unhealed. Here's the good news. Father isn't showing you these things to shame you or your marriage. Honestly, I don't even think that this is a God dream, but I think that God is in it because God cares. So if this is something that you care about, God cares about this too. The scriptures say, cast your cares upon the Lord because he cares. So he's showing you, he's allowing you to see this because he loves you too much to let those hidden wounds fester within you. These dreams are actually invitations. They're invitations for you to go deeper, not just forgiving in word, not from your teeth out, right? But allowing his spirit to touch those raw places in your heart to bring cleansing, to bring truth, and to restore your sense of safety. It doesn't even matter in this moment whether your husband ever cheated on you or not, but you had an experience where you felt like he had, where you questioned reality, where you questioned everything because you really did experience that moment. And whether it was true or it wasn't, or it was a moment that the enemy has used to plant seeds of doubt in your mind, or whether it really happened or not, it doesn't matter. But what matters is that your heart believes that it might have, right? And that belief has been what's tormenting you. Healing will break that torment, and you'll no longer need to act it out in your sleep. Let these dreams be a signal that it's time for inner healing. Prayer, journaling, maybe even walking through your story with a trusted counselor or pastor. Let Father show you where you're still carrying poison. Let him pull it out, not through violent dreams, but through his gentle spirit. You're going to keep having these type of dreams as long as you are suppressing what you really feel, as long as you are not going into those areas of your soul that need that type of healing. Walk that thing out with the Father, like I said, through journaling. Share your story with a trusted counselor, write things out, express what you're really feeling and thinking. Don't think that you deciding to extend forgiveness to your husband for whatever happened is the end of it. I think a lot of times as Christians, we make the mistake of believing that forgiveness is supposed to take care of everything and heal everything. But forgiveness is just the first step. If you experienced a real event that hurt you, that wounded you, Forgiveness is not the healing part, right? That is just the first step. That is just to get you started. That is just to begin to let go. But there's still sometimes more work to do in that area. God has already taken care of everything. Jesus has already done what Jesus has done in the cross for our redemption and for the healing of not just our ailments, physical ailments, but for the healing of our soul. He binds the brokenhearted, right? So he's already done that. But sometimes it's up for us to get a hold of that and to begin to walk it out through what he's already made available to you. So the redemptive meaning of all of this is pretty simple. You're not crazy. You're not broken beyond repair. You are deeply loved, and heaven wants to see you fully free in your heart and in your marriage. Melissa's dreams remind us that not every dream is prophecy. Sometimes it's our soul begging for healing. And if you've ever had dreams that feel heavy, messy, or too close to home, don't dismiss them. They're signals. They're your heart saying, pay attention. There's something here that still needs grace. So here's my encouragement. Don't just forgive. Let Abba walk you into full healing. Let him cleanse the quote unquote warmth, silence those fears, and bring peace where suspicion has lived. He loves you too much to leave you cycling through torment. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your craziest dreams. Send them my way. You never know, your story might be the one that sets someone else free. Until next time, remember, your dreams are speaking. They know the way. Rest well, dreamers.